Well, hello there, motherfuckers. And yesterday, there was some news that was broken by Marvel and Netflix. And I have to say, I find it very troubling. So, I have always been a staunch critic of Marvel and Disney and that merger. And as it relates to the, Marvel Cinematic Universe and the handling of Disney and Marvel, you know, I had gone on record saying here a few years ago that Daredevil was a very interesting series. And I said the same thing about The Punisher. It was a series that was not afraid to take chances. It wasn't afraid to go the extra mile, try something a little bit different out of the ordinary. Be a bit more crass, be a bit more vulgar, be a bit more violent. And it brings us back to the feeling of, like Frank Miller or somebody like that, with more grit and more grime when it comes to the work, And the thing is, when it comes to Disney, they're not so much dark. It's bright, it's colorful, it's more family friendly. It's, fun, it's entertaining. It's not always fun. Like I said, there's been a lot of boring, Avengers films. There's been a lot of very boring movies. Like I said, Captain America Civil War. I mean, it's been very hit and miss. That was a miss. Winter Soldier was a hit for me. I liked Spider-Man Homecoming, yet I prefer the Sam Raimi films. When it comes to Marvel, I have many different taste, and it's cost me subscribers here on YouTube. Many people don't like me. They've called me a DC fanboy. Yeah, I'm a real DC fanboy. Oh, I hate Marvel. I just absolutely hate it. This is just a conspiracy, right? It's just, the fact that I just want to infiltrate into the Marvel universe with my Spider-Man tattoo and my years of comic book collecting and action figure collecting and all that, and watching the Spider-Man animated series and talking to my friends like a lunatic about Spider-Man my whole life and how great he is. It's just that's all just a ploy, so I could get close to the Marvel fans and then out of nowhere say, ooh, I like DC better, so that just comes out of fucking nowhere. It doesn't even make any sense. But anyway, to the point of this video, Netflix and Marvel have decided to not continue Daredevil. A few weeks ago, they announced that they are not going to continue Iron Fist and Cage. Without a doubt, this is going to also mean that they're going to stop Jessica Jones. And unfortunately, after an amazing first season, it looks the Punisher will probably not make it to a second season. I mean, I am praying that they've already started shooting it, and maybe we could squeeze out one more season of that fantastic show, but I don't know. I wouldn't hold my breath. And what is the reason why? Well, I initially thought it was going to be due to the high shooting cost. Here in New York City, if you want to shoot a fucking movie, you might as well, like, sell your house, sell a kidney, whatever, sell both kidneys, and if you have children, maybe they could finish shooting it with the money that you get of them harvesting your organs. I mean, it doesn't fucking matter. You're just not going to be able to shoot. There's so many classic examples of even shows like Seinfeld where they shot half of the show in LA to save costs, or famous movies like, Friday the 13th, one of them, like when they couldn't even show Jason in Manhattan for a movie, that takes place, that's supposed to take place in Manhattan. So, you have a lot of classic examples of shows, costing too much to shoot in New York, to shoot in the city, and that's not what the case is. It's mostly due to Disney not wanting to have this show on Netflix. Why? Because they're going to start their own streaming service. And I'm not sure entirely if it's going to be completely just Marvel based stuff. I think they're also just going to have their own streaming service with, like, just a subcategory of Marvel shows. So that's understandable. Disney does own most of Marvel. It's very confusing because, you've got Sony owning certain Marvel properties, and then you've also got, 20th Century Fox owning, like, X-Men. It's just, oh my God, like, I don't even know. So for some reason, now Disney is starting to kind of crack down, like, okay, these are our properties, and I don't really understand, but I guess because this isn't 20th Century Fox and it's not Sony producing this, putting it out, whatever the case may be, it's so confusing. But this is just Marvel basically shooting this, and so, like, they want to rein it all in. You guys are not going to be able to do this your own. You have your own little show here on the side. We want to be in full control. We want to get all the money. We want people to pay us to see this this show. So, I get that. It's like Netflix is reaping all the benefits of these shows and everything, and they're highly viewed shows. They gotta be. Obviously, that's why Daredevil has made it to a third season. People are watching these shows, they're consuming these shows, they're enjoying these shows. It's what's keeping Netflix afloat, these original series, and Disney wants to cut of that action. But does anybody see what the problem with that is? What is the problem? Let me ask you before I tell you. Let's play this game. What's the problem with having a show like Jessica Jones or Daredevil or The Punisher, dare I say, to use a more extreme example? What's the problem with having those shows exclusively shown on a Disney network? A network that's going to be showing, That's So Raven in another category. Do you know what the problem is? Yeah, these shows are kind of a bit too gritty for Disney. They're going to Disneyfy these fucking shows. They're going to become very PC. They're going to be, very integrated into the whole Disney way of doing things, of making, especially now, when Disney used to be considered creative and original and groundbreaking. Does anybody notice that they're not really that anymore? They're very corporate. Everything that they put out now is like very textbook, very unoriginal, feeling very manufactured. Like, there's certain things they've done with Star Wars that I've liked. Obviously, I was one of the few people who enjoyed Last Jedi. But, like Han Solo, after I had time to mold that over, I wasn't really too thrilled with it. So, there's a lot of problems I have with Disney. And like I said, the biggest problem I have with Disney is how they handle Marvel. I don't like how, they just kind of want to do fan service, but they're not really committed to making a great film. And I don't like their idea of, we're going to give you a little something in this movie and keep saving everything. They made a bunch of shitty movies just so they can make one good movie. Infinity War was a good movie, but it really, after all that time we spent seeing shitty movies to build up to it, that movie should have been mind-blowing. And it wasn't. Some people, stretched the truth and said it wasn't mind-blowing. It was good. It had some good scenes. There was good action. There was a good finale, but after all the shit I had to sit through, like in Civil War and all that, like, political stuff and, stuff with the United Nations, that really wasn't worth all my time. So, we're going to get that very many. And Daredevil, which is just an amazingly acted, and the story is told so well. And they don't have to abide by any, like, lame rating system. And, don't want to, upset the kiddies and the parents and everything. This way you could set your parental controls on Netflix and, you don't have to worry about that. And I'm just saying, it's like, you obviously know the next step is going to be to cancel Jessica Jones with, sex scenes and that. And, the Punisher with like ultra violence. I mean, my God. I mean, if you want to take a look at how violent the show could get, just look at the season finale, the last episode of the Punisher. It's fucking awesome, but it's super violent. And you damn well know they're not going to have anybody raking anyone's face against glass, in a Disney-produced show. So, while Disney is like, above the banner, they're just not going to allow that. So, we're getting all these hints. They're not telling us much about Iron Fist and Cage, but fuck those shows. Those guys, sorry to say, I enjoyed The Defenders. And I liked the actors who portray those characters, but I didn't watch those individual series because, well, they're boring. I'm not very interested in watching them. So, we're going to get a Daredevil movie, probably maybe a Daredevil series on this, and some people are predicting that maybe we'll see season 4, debut on this Disney streaming service. But I mean, after season 3, are we really going to want to see a season 4? Like, continue? How are they going to continue this show? I'm just saying it's going to be so watered down. They're going to make it so lame. I mean, we're better off just saying, you know what? Fuck it. We don't want Netflix to have any more. It says, we're killing Daredevil. We're killing him. And that's all there is to it, but hearing them say they're going to continue it, that actually made me, I know they want to make that announcement and have, people be super excited for it. Like, yeah, more Daredevil. We don't have to worry. You should be worried. You should be very fucking worried about the future of Daredevil, because the future is grim. Especially when they're going to be in control of this series going forward. If it does indeed happen. If they decide to go through with it and they decide to, produce their own Daredevil show like they were hinting at, yeah, you should be very worried about how it turns out, because they're not going to let it have this R-rated feeling to it. They're going to water it down. They're going to make it more family friendly, and thus it's not going to be as good. Now, I know you people make arguments, oh, well, you just don't have to have that R-rated. It's just no, I'm sorry. There's certain things in the show that are shocking, that are very adult, that need to be in there for the show, that have the same effect, that have the same shock and drama. There's just certain things that you just can't do with a certain rating. And, it's kind of like The Godfather. How would that movie fare with a PG rating? I guarantee you it wouldn't be considered to be one of the greatest movies of all time had it had the PG rating. So, let's just kind of keep that in mind as an example. So yeah, guys, not very thrilled with this announcement. Not very thrilled, not happy at all. I think, they just fucking killed one of the best shows, that they not only had on Netflix, but one of the best shows that, you can include better than many shows that were ever aired on TV. And, they're gonna kill it, and they're gonna end up killing the Punisher too, and they don't care, because at the end of the day, it's all about Disney making the most money, doing what's best for Disney. Because at the end of the day, you love Disney because they give you little fan services in the Avengers movies. But really, at the end of it all, it's all about them making enough cash. They do that fan service, so you pay to see the fucking movies, no matter how shitty they are. And, at the end, they'll rip this right out from under you. Oh, you like Daredevil? You like what's going on over here? Okay, well, we're not really making any money off of this, so fuck you. We're taking it away from you. And there you go. And now you gotta buy Disney streaming service if you ever want to see these characters again. So, they're hijacking these beloved characters in series. And, they know that it's a good show. That's why they immediately said they know how fans feel about it. That's why they said, oh, come see The Man Without Fear on our streaming service in the near future. No thanks. You could, after what I've seen, what you've done to Marvel and, what you're turning it into, way too manufactured for me. not my cup of tea. So you can keep The Man Without Fear. And, you know, I'll just look back on the 3 awesome seasons of Daredevil. And, you know, just remember what a great time I had watching them. And you could go and over there and you could go fuck up the series and, you know, get people to pay for it. And it's a funny thing is, it's going to be so inferior, their version of Daredevil. It's going to be like a laughing stock, basically. And if anybody, I know there's going to be people defending, oh, Disney doing a great job with it. You know, just like they did with Spider-Man, you know, and like people are going to just say, oh, wow, Homecoming is so much better than the Sam Raimi films because they're so much, you know, they're just so much better, you know, for whatever reason. So, you know, you guys could go and defend it over there when it happens, but I'll just be sitting here just saying, wow, they really just messed something up that was totally great. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit a thumbs up. If you didn't, and you think that I'm just an evil anti-Marvel infiltrator from the DC side of things, then you can hit a thumbs down and tell me that right here in the comments. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. Click the bell so you get all the notifications when I post all my new videos. Check out some of the other content that I've posted here. And thank you for watching, guys. Until next time.